Well, good morning, everybody. Obviously, since Judge Duffin made his decision, excellent decision in Brendan's case to grant habeas corpus to Brendan, the case went all the way through to the Supreme Court, who declined to look at Brendan's case and seems to have been rejected by Governor Tony Evers, at least for the time being, because he's afraid to look as if he's soft on crime. So you wonder, why not start at the bottom instead of going up to the top? Why not start at the bottom and try and change hearts and minds of people at the bottom of the problem, if so to speak? So I sent him an email to Mark Wiegert. I have contacted him in the past, and I'll share my previous contact with him as well, and ask him to think about the case. He could do so much good for Brendan. We remember famously Tom Fassbender being asked about Brendan, and he said, do I know that he did everything? I'm not sure that he did everything that he confessed to. Well, if you're not sure about one item, how can you be sure about others? Anyway, let's get on and first of all share with you this photograph. The sad thing for me about watching Making a Murderer is that it absolutely shakes your belief in any kind of justice system, and you end up coming away with it thinking, how on earth do those, Mark Wiegert and Tom Fassbender get away with it? And then as you start following other cases, you begin to realize that they're not the exception, that they're not the norm, thankfully. But if it hadn't have been Mark Wiegert and Tom Fassbender, I'm sure the state, particularly Manitowoc Sheriff's Department, would have worked with another detective or detectives to try and secure Stephen's conviction. Brendan, he was just collateral damage. He was just a way of getting rid of Steve's alibi, and also, making it quite clear to anybody that's paying attention, don't mess with us. Never ever think about taking a lawsuit against any policeman here in Manitowoc or any other county. You're not going to survive. We're going to bury you alive. So as I say, this was my email to Mark Wiegert. Well, this was his response anyway. And of course, it's on the 1st of March in the UK. We do the day and the month first. So this was exactly, as you can see, 11 years he responded after that infamous interrogation. Thank you for your concern. As you're aware, both cases are still in the appeal stage, and they're not anymore, so it wouldn't be appropriate for me to comment, but you can now about either case, other than to say I am 100% certain of their guilt and stand behind everything done in the case. I hope someday to be able to answer all of your questions. If you have a chance, you may want to read former disgraced prosecutor Ken Rapist Kratz's book. Yeah, that's not going to happen. But as I say, I wrote to Mark Wiegert this morning, and if I get a reply, obviously I'll share it. Dear Sheriff Wiegert, on the 11th anniversary of Brendan Dass's now infamous confession, indeed several states have since adopted Brendan's law, which means bluffing is no longer permitted. Yeah, hopefully Judge David Hamilton, has taken note. A confession which has now been shown worldwide as the best example of how not to interrogate a juvenile. I wrote to you, and you kindly deigned to write back. Getting a bit poetic here. Now that you're looking forward to retirement, it does, however, lend us to think about the eventual closing of our existence and to consider that death has no terrors equal to the stains of falsehood and dishonor. How will you be remembered? You wrote that you were 100% certain of Stephen and Brendan's guilt. I don't think that you truly believe that. Everything that Brendan said was either a guess or, worse still, him recycling what you and Tom told him. And because of his confession, he has been buried alive. Brendan's lawyers, Stephen Drizzen and Laura Nyrider, actively discourage making contact with law enforcement officials. So I'm writing to you as one decent human being to another. Please take the lead in making sure that Brendan doesn't spend the rest of his life in a prison cell. Yours, a concerned member of the public from the Scottish borders. Some of you will be shouting out at the comment, one decent human being to another. Like I said, if it wasn't Mark Wiegert and Tom Fassbender, it would be others within the system. And it really is the system which is the problem here. The fact that they are allowed to bluff, or that, well, they certainly are still in Wisconsin, but in 4 other states they're not, and other states are following suit. And it's all because of this confession. You know, Mark Wiegert, Tom Fassbender, they will be forever known as the ones that secured this ridiculous confession. You know, and you know, and to a just and honourable person, to somebody that's got any morals, as I say, death has no horrors equal to the stain of the falsehood and dishonour and the lies that you fed Brendan and the fact feeding. Anyway, if you would like to write to Mark Wiegert and make similar comments, remember, keep it classy for Brendan Dassey was what the doodle was told us. I will put Mark Wiegert's email address in the description below. It's easily accessible from the County Sheriff's website, but if I put it in the description below, then you could maybe write to Mark Wiegert and just stress that, you know, it's time, it's well overdue that Brendan was released. The only thing I think Brendan was ever guilty of was of wasting police time. He genuinely thought that Wiegert and Fassbender, although they were saying to him, we know everything, he thought that they would then go and check on whatever nonsense they'd fed him, and they would go and certify that, no, you didn't, that didn't happen and that didn't happen. He went along with them at the time, not realizing that they weren't going to go and check on anything. They were just going to take it as gospel. And the absurd, obscene press conference given by Ken Kratz the very next day, saying that we now know with degrees of specificity. What absolute nonsense. Anyway, I'll see you all soon with some more about Ken Kratz. Take care. Bye for now.